Happy New Year's, everybody. I wasn't planning on doing this, but there is a new TailsTube that was released today, and the only reason I know that, I've been working on finishing the script for Everything Wrong with Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I've seen a lot of a certain search term be trending online. And the reason that's interesting to me is because throughout the course of me working on this script, which has been a long time coming, there has been a name that has been super pervasive throughout my writing process and throughout basically this entire year. This has been a thing since like 2022. There is a character who we know next, or who I guess at this point, know next to nothing about, but apparently something has been sort of soft confirmed in this one, or maybe hard confirmed even, I don't know. And that is the pink-haired woman who we saw as like concept art in TailsTube #1 or something to that effect. I've never really reacted to a TailsTube before, but I think that since I wasn't able to get this out in a timely manner for my last video of 2024, I would like for this to be, I don't know what I'm going to be able to extrapolate from this one, but if I'm able to get something out, like, what a way to go out, right? Reacting to a TailsTube. And let me know, please, if you'd like me to react to more of the TailsTube, if you'd like me to analyze more of the TailsTube videos, I'd be happy to. The only reason I haven't really done it is just because I feel like they're very short, there's not much to do with them, but at the same time, you know, I've been reacting to a lot of the Shadow Generations trailers and whatnot, and you know, recently doing a lot of the Sonic trailers and trying to extrapolate as much as I can from them. So please let me know if this is something you would at all be interested in. But without further ado, let's get into it, because I'm very interested to see like what this video is about and in what capacity Tori, the pink-haired girl, Professor Victoria, is featured in it. 4 hours ago. Okay, so this isn't new, but like I saw that people were talking about like Professor Victoria, and it's so funny because like throughout the course of me writing this script, I was like kind of looking up, or I'd seen like little inklings, because there was a thing, I guess before I get into it formally, in the trailer for the Sonic movie 3, she appeared on a billboard that said 12/30/2024. So yesterday, December 30th, we were supposed to get some news about her at some point, like something. And I'm guessing the TailsTube that we got today is what was supposed to be released. I don't know, because it only makes sense for this to come out today. If it's about New Year's resolutions, it makes sense for it to come out today and not the 30th. So I don't know why the 30th. No, but isn't it technically the 1st in Japan already? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, let's get into it. It's a 4-minute video. Cool.
Happy New Year, everyone! Or happy soon-to-be New Year!
Thanks, Tails.
Just in time to help me ring in the great global rollover with my friends. Let's see if we can catch
3
some
minutes.
of them now. Tails! Happy New Year,
Hey, what's Amy
How's
doing?
the party going? It's going great. It's a shame
Where is she?
Sonic couldn't make it, though.
She's got a little Sonic. Oh!
Did? Whatever. Happy New Year.
Sonic! What are you doing here?
I thought the Happy New Year bit made it obvious.
You said you were too busy to come to my party.
Never too busy to party, but too busy to stay. Gotta go.
Hey, yo.
Honestly, he never changes.
I love the little
But
Sonic
what
and
about
Amy
you?
she has in the background.
Any New Year's resolutions? You know, I've really been thinking.
It says the Miles Electric
Why
Mega
get
in
out
the
there and
corner.
Show my love to the world.
That's the same.
Community building.
Yeah, that's the same thing she said in Frontiers. I was gonna say.
Spend more time with my friends.
Aw.
That sounds
Look at
like
all this
everything
Sonic
you
channel art.
already do,
Jesus.
though. Yeah. Well, I want to do it more.
They're really
Yeah.
consolidating
For
that aspect of
inspiration,
Amy's
Amy.
character.
Oops. Time's ticking down, and I've got more calls to make. Okay. See you. Oh, next year.
Bye, Amy. See you next year.
Tails, aren't you
Rouge.
up past your bedtime, little man?
I'm allowed to stay up and celebrate the new year.
Well,
Do you
just
even
don't
have
party
parents?
too hard.
Okay. Well, I've been checking in with everyone to see what they have planned for the new year.
Yeah, what's up with you, Rouge?
Have any resolutions?
There it is! There it is! Hold on, hold on.
Myself
It's right
better.
there in the corner.
I'll be adding to
Something
my gem
history.
collection
Hold on.
By permanently relocating as many as I can find.
Yeah, but
Oh,
what if
great
they have
art.
historic value? You'll return them later, right? Right?
You know what? It's late.
It's a Shadow Generations reference.
Hey guys.
Oh,
Damn, Sonic.
Let me see, it was this button, right?
That's right,
Oh, hey,
Knuckles.
Tails.
Hi, Knuckles. Happy New Year.
Oh, thanks. You too, kid.
I'm checking in with everyone to see what their New Year's resolutions will be. Have you settled on yours?
Sure. Same one I have every year. Protect the Master Emerald.
That's right, bud.
You always do that.
Yep. But I haven't failed a single resolution.
Well, I don't know about that, bud.
Challenge yourself.
Well, I have wanted to explore the world beyond the island.
How did he do that? It's in the air. How did
Take
he
on
do
unknown
this?
Challenges.
Yeah, out with the old, in with the new.
Ah, Sonic! When did you get up here? How did you get up here?
Right?
Lost some time on the way up. I'll make it back on the way down. Happy New Year, bye.
That guy.
I guess that explains where the tornado went. Anyway.
Oh,
I'm gonna
how did
try
you
to
know
get
it was
one more
missing?
call in.
You've been
Happy New Year,
calling
Knuckles.
people.
Yeah, you too, kid.
Oh,
I better make this quick. Shadow is.
it's almost time, Tails.
What?
Happy New Year, Shadow.
What?
Have any New Year's resolutions?
No.
I love that Shadow's
New Year, Tails.
profile picture was all blurry.
Sorry, no time.
What? I want to hear it. I want to hear his New Year's resolution.
Just like you promised. Okay, let's count it down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year, everybody. It's crazy. 2025, dude.
So, how'd the calls go?
So this confirms that it has been at least a new year in the Sonic universe.
What about you, Sonic?
Sonic, get out of the way. I need something to read.
Not really my style. I like to live in the moment.
What about Year of Tails? I want a Year of Tails.
Spent a lot of time indoors doing these streams. I think
The
I'll
music.
take it on
It's
the
Elisa's
road.
theme.
Yeah, TailsTube on the road.
Yeah, dude.
Delicious. I love it.
I better start packing and preparing. Happy New Year, everyone.
I love this idea.
Have a good one.
May smelly egghead be forgot and never brought to mind.
Good one, Sonic.
Oh, wait, hold on. I want to go back and see before he says anything. Here it is. The Mystery of History by Professor Victoria. So that confirms that her name is Tori. Now, there's something important, and this is... They've been teasing the hell out of this character, and I don't know why. Nobody knows why. It's so interesting. And part of the reason I know this too, and part of the reason I even knew this TailsTube had come out, was because usually when I'm working on an Everything Wrong with Sonic video, I'm constantly like 100% my life is divided between my editing software, my text editor, and the Sonic Wiki. And so I glance every so often at like what the recent edited page is, and usually it has to do with like what the latest game is, or like I've seen that a lot of pages have been edited for the movie, right? Like actors that have done dubbing for the movie, or characters that were in the movie, characters in the movie universe. In particular, I noticed that there was a change to a page titled Professor Victoria, and I'm like, hold on, wait. Over the past few days, I've been seeing more stuff about a character named Tori, this pink-haired girl. The pink-haired girl on the cover of this book. And it's interesting that Tails has this book. In Shadow Generations, on Professor Gerald's journal, there is a note at the beginning that is left to Commander Abraham Towers by someone who is only credited as T. Now, a lot of people thought, well, if this is someone who works for Gun, is it a reference to Topaz from Sonic X? But in the Japanese version of the game, it is literally spelled out as Tori. It's not just T, it's Tori. And again, Professor Tori was her name in the sort of the electronic billboard in Sonic 3. Again, with that date, 12/30/2024. So it was like a soft confirmation that her name was Professor Tori. Now we have it on full record that it is Professor, and people speculated that Tori might have been short for Victoria. Now we know that it is Professor Victoria, and it says the mystery of history. And people have speculated, and this is so exciting to me. This is so exciting because it's probably the one thing I can extrapolate from this whole TailsTube. I might go through it in a little bit of detail and just see little like visual details that whatever, right? For example, that Year of Shadow, cross it out with Sonic, and then what about Year of Tails? I love the idea, by the way. A whole year for Tails, love it. I would love to like have another shot at a Tails game in some capacity, right? Let's have an HD remake of Tails Sky Patrol. People were theorizing, and especially with Shadow Generations. Spoilers if you've only started playing Shadow Generations because you got it over Christmas or something, but spoilers for something very, very important that was never, and to my knowledge, revealed anywhere else. Maria Robotnik has a baby sister, and people were speculating about whether or not Victoria or Tori or this mystery woman at this point, because we didn't know, we only knew like basic details, if she was related to Eggman at all, and if perhaps she was the baby sister to Maria. Now, her character is something that Ian Flynn has known ever since 2022, ever since she was teased in the first TailsTube. And I can show off, like, this is a screenshot of the first time that she showed up on TailsTube amongst the cast of the Sonic Unleashed characters. And people were like, well, we don't know who this character is. Who is this? And this was before Sonic Frontiers release, so we were wondering if maybe she was the mystery voice that we eventually found out was the voice of the end. But we were wondering, like, okay, like if that's not who this character is, then who is this character? We had no idea. With the reveal that Maria has a baby sister, people were then speculating, like, okay, so is this Tori possibly Maria's baby sister, who now works for Gunn? And it was something that I didn't put a lot of stock in. I thought that it was too good to be true. But now, knowing that she is Professor Tori, it is very interesting for a number of reasons. For one, in the English version specifically, I don't know about any other languages. I know that in Japanese she doesn't say this. But in the English version specifically, she does state that she would like to have more insight as to the lives of Gerald and Maria. It's something that she, or whoever is writing this, T, is, and I guess it's a soft confirmation that it is Tori because of the Japanese version, but like it's something that whoever writes that note says in particular. She says, and let me see, because I have this pulled up currently, so I was working on this so I can actually read what it says. Unfortunately, time and tragedy have not been kind to the journal. What you're holding now is all that remains of the original book. I'm afraid there is no way of recovering the missing pages, nor can I restore the damaged or redacted elements. It's a pity, as I would have very much liked to have greater insight into Gerald and Maria's lives too. Now, if this character who is writing this is purely a gun agent, I mean, granted, a gun agent can be curious, sure, but I feel like there is a specific reason why this gun agent who recovered the journal, whom I might also note refers to Eggman as Dr. Eggman in every instance that they are referred to. Like, I don't know. For some reason, in my mind, when I think like, oh, maybe it is Tori writing this and maybe Tori is Maria Robotnik's sister or something, right? In my mind, all I can think of, like, man, it's weird that she refers to Eggman as Dr. Eggman specifically with like an air of respect, right? Like, it's not just Eggman, it's Dr. Eggman, right? Like I said, a gun agent can be curious about Gerald and Maria's lives, but I feel like there's a reason why this character specifically would want to have greater insight into Gerald and Maria's lives. And what if the reason is because this character, this person, is actually related to them? Now, there is something else about this that is very, very interesting to me, sort of in retrospect, but once we're talking about this. On the very first page of Gerald's journal, we can see Gerald Robotnik with his two sons. One which he claims inherited his love for archaeology, the other who inherited his love for robotics. Now, Ivor Robotnik, Dr. Eggman, kind of has a knack for both, right? He is a mechanic, he is a roboticist, but to a lesser degree, he is still an archaeologist. There's a lot of shit that he digs up in order to find things. We see this in like Sonic Superstars, like he finds the North Star Islands because of his knack of archaeology, but also like in Sonic Unleashed, the Gaia manuscripts. Granted, he kind of kidnaps Professor Pickle in order to find the Gaia manuscripts, but a lot of the stuff that he finds out, Sonic 06 is another example of it too. Like the way that he discovers the Scepter of Darkness and this whole, like the past of Soliana and all these things. He does a lot of research, and so there is something to be said that he is, by all accounts, an archaeologist as well, right? To a lesser extent, I think that he is more of a roboticist than he is an archaeologist, but if we see the book in this TailsTube, it says the mystery of history. And what is archaeology if not history? Now, considering that we just had a video game, Sonic Frontiers, which delves into the past of the ancients and all the tribe that was related to Chaos and who brought the Chaos Emeralds to Sonic's world, I feel like whatever Sonic Frontiers 2 is going to be, and this really excites me because I don't know where they're going with this, but I'm so excited to find out. I feel like that would be the perfect opportunity if they're going to explore more of Sonic's lore as it pertains to either the Echidna tribe or whatever. I think it would be the perfect opportunity to include Professor Tori if her whole thing is archaeology. Potentially teaming up with Dr. Eggman. She probably doesn't need to. She could be off doing her own thing. But I think something else to note, right? Something that was kind of soft confirmed in Shadow Generations is that Professor Gerald Robotnik was not the one who discovered Emerald, the Gazoid. That must have been one of Gerald's sons, the one that's more interested in archaeology. He was the one that discovered the Gazoid, probably brought it to Gerald and was like, hey, Dad, here's this robot that I discovered. Like, what do you make of it? And so if Maria's dad, like, it's so crazy to say, right? If Maria's dad was the one that discovered Emerald and had a daughter, because even Maria, right? Like, Maria was intelligent in her own right, and she seemed to have more of a knack for developing, she had a love of astrology, but also, like, if she developed the limiter rings to an extent, designed Shadow's air shoes, I think that she must have had more of a mechanical mind than an archaeological or historical mind. And so it makes sense that, again, this excites me so much because it makes me wig out, and I don't know if this is what they're going for, but the pieces are all there, and so I'm just like, this could be what they're going for. But something else to note is that, like, in Frontiers, Eggman says that he doesn't know much about Maria, right? That there was so much love for Maria throughout his family. His family loved Maria so much, and that he didn't really receive that much love, even though he was right there. He makes no mention of any other family members, but he wonders if Maria was anything like Sage is now. He has great love for Sage. And that was a weird statement because it's just like, okay, what implications does that have? Does Sage in a way have like the soul of Maria, or like Robotnik's memory of who Maria maybe was, or something, right? Like, why is Sage personified the way that she is? It's something that isn't explained entirely well, but if we have Tori in the equation, what does it mean then? Because if Tori is someone who is still alive today, and again, this is just assuming that she's a Robotnik as well, we don't know yet, and she's still alive, is it possible that Ivo Robotnik knew Professor Victoria growing up? Because again, she's a professor, right? Which we don't have many professors in the Sonic universe, aside from like Professor Pickle. We don't have many other professors in the Sonic universe, and Victoria is a first name. It's entirely possible that it's like Maria, it has that Ria suffix. It's a Latin name, right? It's Latin, I think. Okay, it looks like technically they are both Latin. Like, Maria started out as a Greek name and then was Latinized to Maria, and Victoria is just straight up Latin, just meaning victory. And I feel like even that name might have some sort of connotations. I'm not entirely sure. And I'm just so curious who this character is, what connotations they have for the Sonic series. Are they related to any other characters? Like, I feel like they've been dropping really subtle hints. Like, again, Sage and her similarities to Maria, like, because she is considered like Robotnik's daughter, or Eggman's daughter, but like, he's relating her to an actual relative of his, and now, we're getting information that Maria has a sister that we didn't know about, and now this new character that we don't really know much about. Like, what was the point, aside from like maybe just dropping that factoid on us, what was the point of mentioning that Maria had a baby sister? You know what I mean? And it's not like they look anything similar to each other as far as I can really tell, but it's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's something to this. I can't help but feel like there's something to this. And again, just the fact that she is the one to recover Gerald, like, Because you would think it would be Rouge, right? Like, Rouge was the one that sort of had access to Gerald's journal, but no, it's T or Tori who has access to the journal, and it's just like, Okay, let's go through this like bit by bit to see what else we can see, because I didn't even notice Professor Tori at the beginning of this one. Like that one's on me. That one's completely on me. That's Tangle in the background, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's not Tangled. That's the Disney movie. That's Tangle the lemur in the background of Amy's party. Dude, is Rice Bingle at this party? I think that's Ian Jr., the one with the hat. That has to be Ian Jr., right? How did I not notice Big? That's Big right there. That's Big, dude.
I want to get out there and show my love to the world.
Whoa, hold on. What does she say? Show my love to the world, more community building, spending time with my friends.
More community building. More travel. Spend more time with my friends.
More travel. This is a very interesting lineup, by the way. Sonic, Big, Tails, Sonic, Knuckles, Cream, Blaze, Vector, and 3 more Sonics. But even that might be like a clue. I wonder if this is a reference to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, because, I mean, I don't know how much lore is, or like how much canonicity, how much like story elements are going to be in Cross Worlds, but I feel like maybe there could be something there, right? Like, last we saw in Frontier, like, because you have to realize the racing games are kind of main series at this point. Like, Team Sonic Racing had a lot of like canon elements to it, and it was like the first racing game that felt like it was more consistent with the rest of the story, or with the rest of the series. This is coming off the heels of Frontiers and Sonic X Shadow, so I feel like Sonic Racing Crossworld is going to have a lot of like, hey, continuity things. Like, this might be the first time Sonic's seeing these characters in I don't know. I could be wrong about this, but I feel like they're not above doing that. It's interesting that she notes Blaze and Vector as her friends before someone like Shadow or something, right? And again, the fact that they're really focusing on that, like, I want to spread love around the world thing for Amy as a character, it really goes back to my theory on what Frontiers' purpose was, which was to like re-establish what the core for the Dreamcast, what their role in the Sonic series was, you know, like what their desires were, what their purpose was. It's the first time we see Knuckles really protect the Master Emerald, or sort of protecting the Master Emerald in a mainline game in forever, basically since Adventure 2. Any mention of it, really. And we learn that he wants to get out there in the world and do more things. Tails wants to be a hero in his own right, much like he did in Adventure 1. And Amy wants to sort of separate herself from in the Japanese version specifically, she talks about how like she doesn't want to just chase Sonic anymore. She wants to be her own person and like prove to Sonic that she can be more than just her fangirl, or his fangirl. And so like in the English version, we do see that she wants to spread love across the world. Like, that's one of her goals. It makes her character more well-rounded. It makes her more interesting. And so I'm glad that that's something that they've consistently kept as part of Amy's character. I also think it's interesting how Tails has like a book open to something that has the planet on it. I don't know if that's like a reference to the world or what, but like, I don't know.
How about what if they have historic value? You'll return them later, right?
Historic value. Why would Tails mention that specifically? Again, with the whole, you know, the mystery of history thing and the thing Rouge mentions in Shadow Generations about if she steals gems that are from the past, they lose their historical value. And now Tails is bringing it up. Again, I feel like they keep dropping hints, and I don't know if that's on purpose or if I'm just reading too deep into it or what.
I have wanted to explore the world beyond the island.
He has wanted to explore the world beyond the island. That's what I said before, because that's what he says in Frontiers. And again, I feel like they're alluding to... could we possibly be seeing, and I don't know if this is true, I don't know what they're going for with Sonic Racing Crossworlds, but I wonder if they're going to see different versions of themselves in Crossworlds where they're just like, oh man, look, a version of Knuckles that isn't the Master Emerald Protector, like someone who gets to live his life. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but it's so interesting, and I think that a lot of that is meant to just set up what the next game is going to be. I feel like they have devised this sort of mini story, or I don't know if they're going to keep doing this, but I feel like since from Frontiers onward, they have worked to develop this sort of mini story arc for these characters, right? This could be complete cope, but I really want to believe that they're thinking about this more in depth now, and that this isn't just them like putting a bunch of coincidences together, but they actually have something planned for these characters in terms of a narrative. Even if it isn't something too deep, I want to believe that this is something that they actually want these characters to do and go through as part of their story arc. Where it will resolve, if it'll result in anything, I don't know. Probably not, just because we want to keep the status quo. But I think it's interesting, because again, this is just reflecting a lot of Frontiers. And again, even Tails tells you what his resolution is too. He wants to go around take TailsTube around the world. He wants to take it on the road. He wants to, again, which is could be a reference to Sonic Crossworld, taking it on the road. But like, again, he wants to do this independent of Sonic. He's not talking about Sonic being a part of these plans at all.
Guess that explains where the tornado went.
And that one, for some reason, I feel like isn't too important, like Sonic taking the tornado. That's probably just a bit for this video, but maybe that has something to do with Crossworlds, or like something to do in the future. I don't know. I love that his profile picture is him like trying to block the camera and be like, don't take a photo of me. Where is he? Is he on the space colony? Because I noticed that like Rouge was like in an apartment or something. Like she was overlooking the city. She could have just been in an apartment. I'm looking at Shadow. It looks like he might be on the space colony arc. I could be wrong about that, but it looks like maybe he's on the arc. Blocked caller, and he answers the phone. I love that they didn't add like any sort of robotic filter to Orbot at all. And it's so sad. Like, Orbot is so nice. Like, he just wants to be friends with Tails and stuff. And honestly, that would be such a funny direction to take this. Like, what if Orbot just wanted to be friends with Sonic and Tails, like, really, really bad? Or not like really, really bad, but just like, you know, I really like you guys. I want to be friends. That'd be so funny. Interesting. I hate that these are flagged automatically as for kids. I can't see like anybody's comments on it, see like what the community is saying. Because I would love to know what other people are saying that I've completely missed. Like because I'm not the most observant person in the world. So like there are definitely people who see things. I would not have noticed the Professor Tori thing if not for other people seeing it. I would love to know what other people's opinion of it is and if they noticed anything that I didn't, right? But man, what a year, right? The year of Shadow. I really hope that they do like other year of characters, just because like when it came to the year of Shadow and doing all the things that they did for Shadow, it was great. Like we got a lot of fantastic products, from the movie to Shadow Generations to like the things that they did on the road, all the TailsTubes we got, all the like social media posts that we got. It sucks because I feel like this should have been the year of Knuckles, just because, you know, this is his 30th anniversary and we didn't really get anything in the way of Knuckles. It was not even a Shadow anniversary year, and yet like he got all the spotlight, which, I mean, I can't complain considering all the stuff was so good, but I would love for them to try to do more year of characters, just because Shadow was such a success, and people, there's always a Sonic character that's someone's favorite, right? And that doesn't mean that like the year of Blaze, you know, not to diss Blaze or Blaze fans, but like that's not to say that I think a year of Blaze would necessarily work, but I think that trying to focus on the major players in this, like a year of Tails, a year of Amy. Technically 2022 or 23, sorry, was technically kind of the year of Amy. You know, she was playable in Origins. It was her birthday in the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. There was a third thing that happened. I can't remember right now. What was it? Superstar? I can't remember. Point is, like, I think that a lot of things happened that, you know, involved Amy a fair bit and kind of Knuckles too. But like there was a bit of focus on Amy, and I wonder if that sort of influenced the year of Shadow. But I would love to see the year of other characters in this series, just because I feel like it's a good opportunity to do social media stuff. I think it's a good opportunity to explore video game things, movie or show things. Like Knuckles got the Knuckles show this year, which, I mean, that was like the one thing this year Sonic related that was like just fine. It was just okay. But man, I'm excited. I think I'm a little speechless when it comes to this perceived comeback that I think a lot of people are talking about, because it is refreshing. It's very nice to like be excited. I've seen so many people online say that like they played Shadow Generations and they saw movie 3 and they're just like, man, it's exciting to like Sonic again. And it's just like, yeah, it is. It's almost like the sunk cost fallacy has paid off. It's no longer a fallacy, you know, like it's nice to be back at a point where like I'm looking forward to the next Sonic thing rather than being like, well, I hope we'll get him next time, you know, like this definitely feels more like what's next, right? Like people, I think I've seen, are a little hesitant when it comes to Crossworlds just because like it's another racing game and Team Sonic Racing was just fine. But like, I don't know. I'm kind of excited now because I don't know what the implications for Crossworlds are gonna be and like what it means for the future of the story now that they seem to care about unifying it more through Origins, through Frontiers, through Shadow Generations, through the Generations rewrite. It's interesting to, and through TailsTube even, it's interesting to see what they're going to do with the series moving forward from a story perspective. And again, like I said, it's never been a better time to be a Sonic fan. I genuinely believe that, like not even in the early 2000s with like the adventure games and whatnot, early 90s with the original Sonic games, like I don't think it has ever been a better time to be a Sonic fan than it is right now, if only because it is making a comeback and it is reaching wider audiences that it's never reached because of Sonic Prime on Netflix, because of the movies coming out and people, taking their kids or just saying like, there are people who just genuinely go to watch movies that aren't interested in other mediums and they're seeing Sonic and they're just like, hey, this is interesting. Like I want to know more about what Sonic is, and it's hitting the mainstream more and more. And so I'm so excited to see what 2025 has in store for Sonic and his friends in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, in Sonic Rumble, in any other Sonic thing that comes out 2025 and beyond. So thank you guys for sticking with me throughout all this. It's been a tough year for me content-wise. I haven't released as much as I'd like to. Even this video is kind of like a last minute, like, hey, TailsTube came out, let me make a video on it. I would have liked to finish this Sonic X Shadow Generations video beforehand. I would have liked to make an actual, end of year podcast thing like I used to a couple years ago. But I guess this is going to be the one. So we'll see how 2025 treats us in terms of my disposition, in terms of my energy, in terms of my ability to create more content for you guys. And hopefully I am able to better explain why it was that the latter half of the year and the rest of the year was a little bit slower than it normally is very, very soon. Rest assured that it will, I will talk about this more in depth during live streams or what have you. And if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for sticking by, watching the rest of these videos. It means the world to me that you guys stick around and are still here throughout everything and supporting my Sonic ventures, supporting my other ventures, depending on, what other topics I decide to cover in my videos. But I really appreciate you. I love you guys. I will see you all next year. And hopefully there is a lot of exciting stuff in store on this channel for Sonic. Otherwise, I hope everything that you are committing yourselves to resolution wise. Like don't pressure yourself too much in terms of a resolution. Do what you can. Just always look for that next goal. Little goals lead to larger goals. Always look forward to the next thing. And I will see you guys next time. Stay safe. Stay awesome. This is Char 5 signing off.